Hey everyone, Dr. Frunkey here with a new knife consult video for you. This one was a bit unexpected. This one comes to me by way of Treddy's knife reviews. Treddy is a good buddy of mine. We talk all the time about knives. And sometimes he has trouble getting knives over to Switzerland. People don't like to ship internationally. So he has provided this for me by means of shipping it through me. This is the Grayman Dua. Okay, this was a knife that I really knew nothing about, and then he introduced me to it. Something I appreciate about Treddy is his sort of eclectic choice in knives, just a very different sort of choices than I would make, and it's great, and I learn a lot about different knives because of that. So thanks, Treddy, for sending this one along and showing me another great maker out there. So speaking of the maker, the Grayman family are a mom-and-pop organization where the husband had served some time in the military and had started making some fixed blades for some colleagues and friends and family, and then sort of branched out from there, and now they're full-time knife makers. And they make a handful of fixed blades, and they make two folders. They make the Satu, which is the larger version of this, a 4-inch recurved blade, and they make this one the Dua, which is Dua is this Indonesian word for two. So this is their second folder. And this one is a 3.25-inch blade. This one is actually coming in CPM 20 CV. You can see that right there. Now, you may not be able to find one that looks exactly like this. That is because this one has been modified. This one has been modified by Mark Mansfield. He is a well-known modifier in the community. He does a great job. This and TWS 777, these guys have done some work to this. This is a list of the things they've done: blasted, tumbled, blade etch and stonewash, a wicked edge at 21 degrees per side. There was some grease on there, and really, really nice work going on here. Very much a user finish and a gorgeous mirror polished edge that's coming in very sharp right there. I really like that. But we'll go ahead and just talk about this knife, maybe anatomically here, get a better understanding for what we're looking at. This is a 3.25-inch blade of CPM 20 CV. This has a 3-inch cutting edge. Looks like it's got a pretty nice sharpening choil there. That one has actually been modified. If you watch the Apostle P's video on this knife, the factory sharpening choil is not really ideal, and this one has been reground in that way that was done in the Apostle P video. And what you might notice about the edge is that maybe, just maybe, there's a slight recurve there. There really is, and it's an interesting thing that I've seen about these knives out there, that some of them have a totally flat grind that goes all the way out, and some of them have that little recurve. Now, the Satu was intentionally a big recurve. That one is so subtle that I'm not really sure it was intentional or not, but it is there. And there's definitely a little bit of a recurve to that edge. So it's not a fully straight edge right there. So if you're going to get it resharpened, send it to my man's over here. Maybe he did a great job on this one, but it may be a little bit harder for the layperson to do that sort of subtle recurve right there. That may be frustrating for some. But what we've got is a 0.165-inch thick blade here. So pretty chunky piece of metal for a small blade like this. And the flat grind only comes up about halfway here. So this is a tough little knife. This is not made for slicing necessarily or EDCing necessarily. This is made with one purpose in mind: to be a tactical folder. This is really geared for military and law enforcement as a means of a tactical tool that is thick enough to do a variety of tasks, including some prying tasks, and definitely for stabbing or self-defense or anything like that. And with that in mind, I can totally see that. There's a very positive grip, a lot of traction, a whole lot of geared jimping going on up here, and you can see that in the overall profile of the knife. Their website straight up says these knives are not meant to look pretty. These are not for collectors. This is a purpose-built tool, and that definitely does show through in the overall quality here. Now, we talked about the blade. It deploys with these thumb studs, and it does have a very smooth action to it. I do like that a lot. The acid etch has not affected the action on this one, so I do appreciate that when a knife is customized like this. It runs on phosphor bronze washers. I don't know if I'll be able to show them to you in there, but they're in there. And it is a very smooth action. If you've had a Sebenza 21, you know what this is like. It's got the bushing pivot system similar to that, so you can tighten down pretty strongly on the pivot here. You can see it's got a fixed pin over on this side and the screw on the presentation side. It's got the stop pin right there. Functions in both directions as the stop pin. And it's got 6AL4V titanium scales. Simple, no nonsense, flat pieces of titanium. They're well rounded. It's got a nice large lock bar. It's titanium on steel here. There's no lock bar insert going on, but there's no lock stick whatsoever. It seems that they've carbonized it well, so it functions really nicely. Back here we've got some standoffs going on here. Simple construction again. And it's got this pocket clip. Now, I'm a fan of spring clips. I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of the way this one looks. I could have seen them maybe executing that slightly differently. It's also a strange thing to see that this has Phillips head screws and the front has Torx screws. So you'll need two different tools in order to disassemble this rather than just one. If, you know, perhaps in the future, if they wanted to make it truly simple and easy to use in the field, maybe you would make it all uniform so you could use just one tool. But it's a nice size. This is a great size for carrying. It's very slim overall. It's only about a ½ an inch thick. Very, very nice to carry. Speaking of carry, something to consider in a chunky knife like this might be the weight. So here we are in ounces. We'll go ahead and weigh this thing. Coming in at 5.1 ounces on the dot. So pretty heavy knife for how small it is. We'll go ahead and bring out a couple of other knives just for a size comparison here. Something similar, it might be the Browse Insight. That's a similar knife right there in that size category. I've got a Riot K1, bigger knife going on there. How about my 0392, the old standby, 3.5 inch blade on that guy. I've got the Brian Nadeau Mini Typhoon, also a 3.5 inch blade on that one. I have another 3.25 inch blade, the Robert Carter and Frank Fisher Talon. Similar overall blade length there, definitely a different grind going on there, but you got to get that guy on camera. Absolutely beautiful. How about a Peter Rosenti Satori, since we're looking at some custom knives? That one's also grayed out through and through. How about a Browse Dynamic? Ugly, ugly, ugly knife, but I'll bring it out for a size comparison because it's also gray on gray like that. So it's a relatively small knife. Oh, here we go. How about a Liang Ma GSD? That's a similar knife right there. Okay. So the Dua here is a relatively small knife, nice and chunky, very well built, very strong, and I see why Treddy wanted this. He really wanted a tough, well-built, everyday carry knife that was no nonsense, no frills. When he showed it to me, I honestly was like, that looks a little boring to me, but there's a reason for that. And after learning a little bit about the company and seeing what their mission was, it makes a whole lot of sense now, and I do like it. So thanks to him for sending this along. Really impressed with the quality. I'm not really going to comment too much on EDCing this knife all the time. I'm really only going to have this for a short while. But I wanted to promote this company. They look like they're doing good work, and it will be interesting to see what they've got coming in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. Check this knife out on Treddy's channel. This will be coming up for sure on his in the very near future, and I'm sure he'll be using this for some awesome cutting tests and everything. So thanks for watching, guys. Go ahead and check me out on Instagram at Dr. Frunkey. Check him out at Treddy's Knife Reviews on YouTube and Instagram. Click like and subscribe to my channel here. And come back and watch some more knife videos, guys. As always, this is Dr. Frunkey saying, take care.